Packing cubes have become one of the most popular travel accessories of the last decade. Walk through any luggage section, scroll through any travel content online, and you'll see them recommended as essential gear for anyone who wants their suitcase organized. And they are essential, used correctly. The problem is that most travelers buy a set of packing cubes, throw their clothes inside, and assume they're now packing efficiently. But the actual potential of packing cubes is far greater than what most people get out of them, and the mistakes are easy to make without realizing it. Used wrong, packing cubes can actually waste space, slow you down, and leave you with the same disorganized suitcase you had before, just with more equipment inside it. Used right, they transform packing from a frustrating exercise into a system that saves time, fits more in less space, and makes every trip dramatically easier from start to finish. The difference between those two outcomes comes down to a handful of small techniques that most travel content never bothers to cover. Once you know them, the entire experience of packing a bag changes. In this video, we're going through the 10 most common ways people use packing cubes wrong, and exactly how to fix each one. Stick with us all the way to the end, because the final few mistakes are the ones that experienced travelers still make without realizing it. Before we get into it, do us one small favor. Hit the like button if you've ever bought packing cubes and felt like they didn't change much about your packing. And subscribe so you don't miss the practical travel content we publish every week. Share this with the friend or family member who's about to head on a trip. They'll appreciate it. Let's start with the most common mistake, and the one that immediately gives away whether someone actually knows how to use packing cubes. 1. Folding clothes instead of rolling them. This is the foundational mistake that limits everything else about how packing cubes perform. Most people fold their clothes the same way they fold them in their dresser drawers. Flat, layered, stacked on top of each other. Then they put those folded clothes into a packing cube and wonder why the cube doesn't seem to hold as much as advertised. The answer is that folded clothes create flat layers that waste vertical space inside the cube, and they develop hard creases along the fold lines that don't recover quickly when you unpack. Rolling instead of folding solves both problems at once. Rolled clothes pack tighter, fit into corners and gaps that folding can't, and develop softer wrinkles that hang out within an hour of being unpacked. For a packing cube specifically, rolling lets you fit roughly 30% more clothing in the same physical space, which is the difference between fitting a week's worth of outfits versus 4 or 5 days of clothes in the same bag. That's not a small gain. The technique is straightforward. Lay each garment flat, fold the sleeves in, and roll tightly from the bottom up. T-shirts, soft pants, athletic wear, and underwear all roll exceptionally well. Heavier items like jeans take a bit more practice to roll tightly, but once you've got the rhythm, the entire process is faster than folding. The key is rolling tightly. Loose rolls fall apart and revert to the same problems folding creates. Tight, compact cylinders are what unlock the full capacity of a packing cube. There's one specific exception worth knowing. Structured items like blazers, formal shirts, and tailored jackets actually perform worse when rolled. These benefit from being folded flat and placed near the top of the cube, where they aren't compressed under the weight of other items. Some travelers use a dedicated cube just for these structured pieces to keep them from being crushed. Combining rolling for most clothing with selective folding for the structured pieces gives you the best of both approaches across an entire trip. 2. Mixing categories inside a single cube. The whole point of packing cubes is organization. Yet most travelers undermine that purpose by tossing different types of items into the same cube. T-shirts mixed with pants, socks scattered through the same cube as shirts, underwear floating around among heavier clothing. By the second day of a trip, the cube has become a small, disorganized version of an unsorted drawer, and you're back to digging through everything to find a specific item. The fix is to assign each cube a category and stick to it. 1 cube for tops, 1 cube for bottoms, 1 for socks and underwear, 1 for accessories or workout gear. When everything has a defined category, you reach for the right cube without thinking. And when you arrive at a hotel, you can place the cubes directly in a drawer without unpacking, knowing exactly what's in each one. The cube essentially becomes a small portable drawer that maintains its organization for the entire trip. This single shift also changes how repacking feels during multi-stop trips. Instead of refolding everything when you check out of a hotel, you just close the cubes and put them back in the bag. The categories stay intact across the entire trip, which means your packing doesn't degrade by day 3 the way it usually would. The cube isn't just a container, it's a system. And the system only works if you commit to keeping categories separate. For travelers who pack in outfits rather than categories, there's an alternative approach worth knowing. Some people prefer to assign 1 cube to each full outfit. Shirt, pants, socks, underwear all together, so the morning routine becomes pulling out a single cube and getting dressed. This works particularly well for shorter trips with a known number of days, and it removes the mental load of choosing what to wear each morning. The principle is the same. Each cube has a clear, deliberate purpose, and that clarity is what makes the system function. 3. Choosing the wrong size cubes for your bag. Many people buy a generic set of packing cubes, usually 3 sizes, in a small, medium, and large configuration, without thinking about whether those sizes actually match the dimensions of their suitcase. The result is cubes that don't quite fit the bag's interior, leaving awkward gaps along the edges or forcing you to stack cubes in inefficient ways. Wasted space inside a packing cube is one problem. Wasted space inside the bag because the cubes don't fit properly is a bigger one. The fix is to measure your suitcase or backpack's main compartment before buying cubes and choose sizes that fit cleanly inside. Ideally, the largest cube should fill the bottom layer of your bag completely from edge to edge, with smaller cubes stacking on top or fitting alongside as needed. When the cubes match the bag's geometry, the entire interior becomes usable space rather than a patchwork of organized zones surrounded by empty pockets. Some brands have caught on to this and now sell cube sets specifically designed to fit particular bag models. While that's helpful, it's not necessary. Most generic cube sets work fine as long as you pick the right sizes. The mistake to avoid is buying a one-size-fits-all set and assuming it will work for whatever bag you're using. A small measurement check before purchase prevents months of mild frustration every time you pack. 4. Not using compression cubes for bulky items. Regular packing cubes hold what you put into them, but don't reduce the volume of the contents. For most clothing, that's fine. But for bulky items, winter sweaters, jackets, fleeces, thicker pants, a regular cube takes up the same amount of space as the items would loose in the bag. The packing cube organizes, but doesn't compress. This is where compression cubes change the equation entirely, and most travelers either don't own a compression cube or don't use the compression feature on the ones they have. Compression cubes have a second zipper that, once you've filled the cube, physically squeezes the contents flat. The clothing inside doesn't wrinkle any more than it would otherwise, but the cube itself becomes 30 to 50% thinner. For winter clothing especially, the space savings are dramatic. A single compression cube can fit 2 or 3 sweaters in the space a regular cube would hold 1. The fix is to add at least 1 compression cube to your packing kit, specifically for the bulkiest items in any trip. Use regular cubes for t-shirts and lighter clothing, where compression doesn't help much, and reserve compression cubes for the items where it genuinely makes a difference. This mixed approach gives you the organization of cubes without sacrificing the capacity savings of compression. For one-bag travelers especially, this combination is what makes longer trips fit into a carry-on without sacrifice. There's also a useful secondary benefit to compression cubes that most travelers discover only after using them for a while. Because compressed clothes take up less space inside your bag, you have more room left over for souvenirs, gifts, or items you pick up during the trip. Many travelers who switched to compression cubes found that they could bring back significantly more from their destination without needing a larger bag or paying for extra luggage. The compression effectively buys you future packing capacity for things you haven't even bought yet. 5. Overpacking each cube until it loses its shape. There's a strong temptation to stuff every cube to the brim, treating maximum density as the goal. The opposite is actually true. Cubes that are overpacked beyond their intended capacity bulge out of shape, become harder to stack or arrange inside your bag, and develop stress points along the zippers that can fail after a few trips. The bag's overall organization suffers because misshapen cubes don't fit together cleanly, and the cubes themselves wear out faster than they should. Each cube has an optimal fill point, usually around 80 to 90% of its theoretical capacity. At that fill level, the cube holds its rectangular shape, zips smoothly without strain, and stacks neatly with other cubes. Beyond that, you're trading organization for cramming, which defeats the purpose of using cubes in the first place. If you can't fit everything into your cubes at the optimal fill, the answer isn't to overfill them. It's to use more cubes, a larger bag, or to pack less. The fix is to think about cube capacity in terms of shape, not in terms of how much you can force inside. If the cube is starting to lose its rectangular profile, you're past the right amount. Distributing clothes across multiple cubes keeps each one in good shape and preserves the overall organization of the bag. Cubes are tools for fitting more in less space when used correctly, but overfilling makes them worse at their job, not better. 6. Forgetting to pack a dirty clothes cube. Most travelers think of packing cubes as containers for clean clothes only, which leaves a gap in the system once worn items start accumulating during the trip. Without a dedicated cube for dirty clothes, worn garments tend to get mixed back in with clean ones, the bag becomes harder to keep organized, and by day 3, you can't reliably tell what's clean versus what isn't. This single oversight is what causes most packing systems to collapse during longer trips. The fix is to designate one cube, usually a smaller one or a separate compressible laundry bag, exclusively for dirty clothes. At the end of each day, worn items go directly into this cube and never back into the clean clothing rotation. This preserves the integrity of your packing organization for the entire trip, no matter how long it lasts. The clean cubes stay clean. The dirty cube grows over time. The two zones never mix. Many travelers go one step further by using a compression bag specifically for laundry. These reduce the volume of dirty clothes by up to half, which means even as you accumulate worn items, the space they take up shrinks. By the time you're flying home, your bag is more compact than it would have been with loose, uncompressed laundry. This is the upgrade that makes long trips feel sustainable inside a carry-on, and it costs almost nothing to add to your existing cube system. 7. Treating cubes as permanent storage inside your bag. This mistake is subtle, but it limits how much packing cubes can actually help you. Many travelers think of cubes as fixed components of their luggage. Once they're inside the bag, they stay there until the trip ends. But the real power of cubes shows up when you treat them as portable modules that can move between your suitcase, hotel drawers, and even day packs throughout the trip. The cube is meant to leave the bag. When you arrive at a hotel, pull the relevant cubes out of your suitcase and place them directly in a drawer or on a shelf. Your clothes stay organized exactly the way you packed them, accessible without having to dig through the bag, and your suitcase can sit closed off to the side. When you check out, you simply put the cubes back in the bag. No refolding, no reorganizing, no time wasted. The cube system maintains itself across the entire trip if you actually use the cubes as portable units rather than fixed inserts. The same principle applies to day trips. A small cube can move from your main bag to your day pack with the clothes or gear you need for a single day, then return to the main bag at the end of the day. The modularity is the entire point. Cubes that stay buried inside your luggage all trip are only doing half their job. And the half they're not doing is the part that genuinely makes travel feel easier. There's also the airport security benefit. Cubes containing electronics, chargers, or other items that might need to be removed at security can be pulled out as a single unit and placed in a bin without exposing everything in your bag. This speeds up the checkpoint process and keeps your other belongings contained. Travelers who organize their cubes by access frequency, placing the ones most likely to need quick access near the top of the bag, find that this small detail saves real time at every security checkpoint and during boarding. 8. Not labeling or color coding your cubes. Many cube sets come in matching colors, which looks clean, but creates a small inefficiency on every trip. You can't tell at a glance which cube holds what without opening each one. For travelers who pack the same categories the same way every trip, this is solvable by choosing cubes in different colors and assigning each color to a specific category. Black cube for tops, gray for bottoms, blue for accessories, and so on. Over a few trips, the color associations become automatic, and you reach for the right cube without even thinking. The fix is to either buy a color-varied set deliberately or to add small luggage tags or labels to identical cubes. Even just attaching a small ribbon, sticker, or label to each cube makes them distinguishable when you're rummaging through a bag in dim hotel lighting. The 2-second customization at home translates into hundreds of saved moments of small friction across every trip from that point onward. Clearer or mesh-windowed cubes solve this problem differently. The contents are visible through the cube without opening it. This is particularly useful for accessory or tech cubes, where you need to identify a specific item quickly. The visibility removes the need for labels entirely and adds the benefit of seeing exactly what's left inside before opening. For travelers who value speed of access, mesh-windowed cubes are a meaningful upgrade over solid fabric versions. Some travelers also write directly on their cubes with a permanent marker or use tag holders that come built into certain premium cube models. The level of effort is minimal, but the daily payoff is real. Every time you reach for a cube and grab the right one without checking, you've saved a small moment that adds up over the course of a trip. These tiny efficiencies are what separate a packing system that feels effortless from one that requires constant, low-level attention to maintain. 9. Buying low-quality cubes that tear and lose their shape. The packing cube market is flooded with cheap options that look identical to more expensive cubes in product photos, but perform very differently in real use. Low-quality cubes have flimsy fabric that develops holes after a few trips, zippers that snag or fail under tension, and stitching that comes apart when the cube is fully packed. A set that costs $12 and a set that costs $40 might look identical online, but the cheaper version often becomes garbage within a year. The fix is to invest a little more in quality cubes from established brands. Eagle Creek, Peak Design, Bagsmart, or similar manufacturers known for travel gear. These cubes use stronger fabrics, better zippers, and reinforced corners that maintain their shape over hundreds of trips. The cost difference is small relative to the value, and a good cube set easily lasts 5 to 10 years of regular travel. It's the kind of one-time purchase that pays off over years rather than needing to be replaced repeatedly. Quality cubes also tend to be lighter than cheap ones. Heavier cubes add to the overall weight of your bag for no functional benefit, which matters especially for airline weight limits and one-bag travelers. The combination of durability, lighter weight, and better construction is what separates good cubes from cheap ones, and it shows up immediately in how the whole packing experience feels. The right cubes essentially disappear into your routine, while bad cubes become a small ongoing source of frustration. It's also worth looking for cubes with quality zipper construction specifically. Zippers are the failure point for most travel gear, and packing cubes are no exception. YKK zippers, found in higher quality cubes, are significantly more durable than the generic zippers used in cheap sets. A jammed or broken zipper in the middle of a trip means a cube full of clothes that's now hard to access. Exactly the kind of small disaster that quality construction prevents. Check the zipper brand before buying, and you'll avoid most of the failure modes that ruin cube sets. 10. Using cubes without a larger packing system behind them. The final mistake is the most important one to understand. Packing cubes are a tool, not a complete packing strategy. Travelers who buy cubes expecting them to solve their packing problems entirely often end up disappointed, because cubes work best when they're part of a larger system. A system that includes deliberate decisions about what to pack, how to pack each category, where things live inside the bag, and how to maintain organization during the trip. The fix is to think of cubes as one component of an overall packing method. Combine them with rolling techniques, category-based organization, deliberate zone assignment inside your bag, and habits for maintaining the system during the trip itself. When all those elements work together, cubes deliver their full potential. When cubes are used in isolation, without the surrounding system, they just become more attractive containers for the same disorganized packing you'd otherwise do. Travelers who've adopted full packing systems like the Sudoku packing method, where every category of item has its own zone and cubes support that structure, consistently report that packing becomes faster, the bag holds more, and trips feel less stressful from start to finish. Cubes are the building blocks of that system, but the system itself is what delivers the experience travelers are looking for. Once you understand that, you stop blaming the cubes for any limitations and start using them as the genuinely powerful tool they are. If you've watched this far, you now understand more about how packing cubes actually work than the vast majority of travelers who own a set. The difference between buying cubes and using them well isn't dramatic. It's a handful of small techniques and a slightly different way of thinking about packing as a whole. But the cumulative impact is significant. Travelers who apply even 3 or 4 of the fixes in this video find that their bags hold more, stay organized for the entire trip, and pack faster than they ever did before. Think about the trips you've taken with cubes that didn't quite feel as transformative as you'd hoped. The cube system you set up that fell apart by day 3. The packing that still felt chaotic despite the matching set of containers. Almost every one of those moments traces back to one or more of the mistakes covered in this video. And almost every one is fixable with a small shift in technique. The cubes themselves were fine. The way they were being used was the issue. That's the bigger principle here. Travel gear only delivers its full value when you understand how to use it well, not just when you own it. Packing cubes are one of the highest leverage tools in the entire travel gear category, but only when paired with the right techniques. Now that you have those techniques, the cubes you already own will start performing far better, and the trips you take from this point forward will feel measurably easier. If this video helped you see your packing cubes differently, hit the like button right now. It tells us this kind of practical, no-fluff content is worth making. and it helps other travelers find it before their next trip rather than after. Subscribe if you haven't yet. We cover the real useful side of travel that experienced flyers actually rely on. And share this with the friend or family member who has a set of packing cubes sitting in a closet they're not really using. We'll see you in the next one.